Ah,
Your life now.
this is okay. You're welcome. Welcome to TD Podcast. My name is Nwali Tochi. I'm the host today, and my co-host by my right, Mr. Michael Oyelade. Mr. Michael, can you say hi to? Hello, viewers. You're welcome to this second episode of our program. So, thank you. Our guest is already on ground. Yes. To give us the insight of the real estate industry. Exactly. It's just like Mr. Mike is saying. The title of today is Unlocking Nigerian Real Estate Wealth. Of course, um, Barrister Richard Oleka will be here. It's really live. We're streaming from our TD studio hub. Our viewers around the world, Nigeria, and the entire globe, from the YouTube to Instagram to TikTok to Facebook, streaming live. Want to thank you for always there for us. And Barrister Oleka, let me just give you a brief background of it's a seasoned real estate guru who has several prominent real estate companies, including one of the first in sub-Sahara Africa, to incorporate and launched District Trading Center, which is the historic first company of its kind in sub-Saharan Africa. Of course, after that, the Pinnacle Prime Estates Limited, which is the company he pioneered and the founder. From there, from Enugu to Lagos, Polo Residence Limited, Blossom, which many of you might have subscribed or watched it. It's some of his prime real estate he has pioneered. Of course, in Lagos, he has Blossom, and also he has Glory Land Estates. Of course, Abuja, in Enugu, let me not forget about Camp David in Enugu, the Rock Resort Estate, Enugu, Garden City, Enugu, and then coming to Abuja. In Abuja, he has Regus at Katakpe, Abuja. He has Manu Gozakwe in Abuja. Of course, Euphoria, that one is also in Katakpe Extension, Abuja. There is Olympus Asokoro. For those of you who know Abuja very well, you know what I'm talking about when I say Asokoro. So, Bridge Wasu to Abuja. So, without much, let me welcome Barrister Richard Oleka Udenze. Barrister Richard Oleka, I'm very happy to host you with my team today. I've come to know you very, have blessed my life, have influenced my life. And luckily, it's my in-law, a very trusted and reliable in-law. So I'm very happy that you honored this invitation to share some of the developments, real estate developments, the ongoing projects, and of course the ones you've completed, so that those who have subscribed, your audience, your customers, and some of us whom you have influenced our lives positively, will be able, those who are still sitting on the fence in Nigeria real estate, will be able to make a decision today and share to them some of the things you're doing lately. So without much ado, I want to open the floor for Barrister Richard Oleka to introduce himself and then let us know what is going on today and some of the things he's doing. Then we flow with the questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nwali.
Thank you, sir.
You say I should introduce myself, but I think you've done so much of the introduction that I don't even know what to say again. Apart from, yeah, my name is Oleka Udenze Richard. I'm a lawyer by training, and yeah, I think it's safe to say before now I would say I don't practice law, but that's not exactly the case because there is a very important aspect of law called property conveyancing. So I think the core of my practice as a lawyer is property conveyancing. So I'm a real estate entrepreneur also. Um, Pioneering and presiding over three different real estate companies with interest in different sectors of real estate. First, Distress Trading Center, which, like you rightly mentioned, the very first of its kind in Sub-Saharan Africa that has to do with distressed assets. And then Pinnacle Prime, which has interest in sites and services, mostly lands, and we have projects in Lagos and in Enugu. And then, of course, Polo Residences, which happens to be our newest baby, with interest in redefining premium living. And we are looking at crafting architectural masterpieces in premium and prime locations. And that's what we're doing. We have 5 projects in Abuja ongoing currently. And yeah, we look forward towards the future with much optimism. So much has been done, so much is ahead, and we are ready for it all. We equal to the task, and yeah, we're here for it. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Barrister. We are happy to have you. I didn't know you have 5 projects ongoing in Abuja. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a billionaire real estate, very young entrepreneur, and the future is just uh, very bright. And we can't but to thank you for um, what the sacrifice, because doing business in Nigeria as an entrepreneur, we know the challenges, but we are navigating them, blessing people, building wealth, uh, making people rich. That's it's all about real estate. So, what makes your estate, for example, Oasis and Blossom Garden, then of course the one in Enugu, and then Abuja? Can you share what differentiates the typical development we see across Nigeria? What makes your own unique that investors all around the world, most of them are skeptical in investing in Nigeria due to the economy, and there's some leadership issues. So why should they believe and invest in Oasis and Blossom, Camp David, and then Asokoro, and there's some other extension, uh, you know, within the 3 states, or would I say 3 and the federal capital that you have. So why would they jump into it?
Okay, so by my knowledge of the law, title is very important. So there are 2 things I pay attention to when getting into any project. And first is location. So I always start by saying real estate, you can hardly remedy location. I would rather take a dilapidated building in a great location than take a mansion in a not so great location because a few millions in your account tomorrow, you can bring down the dilapidated structure and put up your structure of choice, and you're good to go. But then in a bad location, there's hardly anything you can do to remedy it. I'll say maybe you pray for divine intervention or government intervention, as the case may be. But even though there is an extent to which government can intervene, and prime location is prime location all over the world. There are places you can't compare Syria to central London, for instance. No matter what you try to do in Syria, you can't compare it to central London. So for me, it's about location first. So once we get location right, we start to talk about the title, the documentation, and for instance, let's start with Oasis. So Oasis is in Ibejuleki, and it's in a great location just by the Pan Atlantic University and opposite the Eleganza Industrial City. For those who know that axis very well, so Lagos is moving, and this is where Lagos is coming to, and in the last 10 years or more, a lot of institutions and industries have captured and keyed into that vision of the new Lagos and have even gone ahead. So when you're going to that axis, you see outlets like Costaris, and then you'll be wondering what's Costaris doing in this axis? It's because you know that Lagos is coming here,
Yeah.
and you see in that their showroom, they display different models of Rolls Royce and Range Rover. So you're wondering, why are you displaying this here? Who in this axis wants to buy a Rolls Royce? But like I said, it shows the vision of those behind that brand who have come to realize that Lagos is moving, and so we should move with Lagos, move with the trend. And then you have Eleganza. Sometimes I just be wondering when Eleganza built this um, uh, industrial city, what was he thinking? Because they were one of the first callers in that location, and
Yes.
Oasis is just sharing common ground with the Pan Atlantic University and the Eleganza Industrial City. So location is great, and then when you talk about the title, so this land was captured under the Lagos State government and private developers program, what some people call the DERA scheme. So he has government allocation and yeah, pretty much good title. And we're also in the process of paying up the bills and processing the certificate of occupancy. And then when you look at Blossom Garden on the other side in Enugu. So Blossom Garden, for those who also know Enugu very well, in fact, when the State Housing Corporation came up with the layout and they called it Transekulu Annex, I told them I think that they got it wrong because Transekulu is further from Blossom Garden as against GRA, which is less than 5 minutes drive from Blossom Garden. So for those of you who also know the Enugu GRA New Market axis very well, Blossom Garden is just 5 minutes drive from ShopRite, the Enugu Mall. So it takes you just about 5 minutes to go to Blossom Garden. So in fact from the New Market flyover in GRA, you are overlooking Blossom Garden. So the location is quite interesting, quite great, and you have free flow of traffic. The required infrastructure is in place: the tarred roads, lights, water, what have you, accessibility in and out of town, and it also has a government allocation from the Enugu State Housing Development Corporation. In fact, for that one, you don't even need to process a CFO. Enugu State Housing Development Allocation stands shoulder to shoulder any day, anywhere with a certificate of occupancy. So in that project, we have to pay attention to location and we have to pay attention to title. And that also applies to every and any other project you've undertaken. For all the projects we're doing in Abuja, from Katampe by Minister's Quarters, great location overlooking Metema, to Katampe Extension, which is a diplomatic zone, to Guzape District, which is the Hybrid area, and to Asokoro, which, of course, anybody who knows what Asokoro stands for, and it's not even like some people when they talk about Asokoro, there is just some upcoming parts of Asokoro, but this is pretty much up to Danjuma, so which is in the same neighborhood with most state government liaison offices and state government lodges and government house annex. And we also have the one in Wuse 2 on Paraku that is coming up. I think that will be the first block of apartments we'll be doing in Abuja, because these other ones, they reduce at Minister's Quarters. What we're doing there is 5 units of 5 bedroom no, 6 bedroom detached duplexes. The manor in Guzape, we are doing 5 units of 5 bed detached duplexes. In Katampe Extension, the Euphoria, we're doing 4 units of 5 bedroom detached duplexes. And then in Asokoro, the Olympus, we are doing 7 units of 5 bedroom detached duplexes. And in Wuse 2, the block of apartments, we call the Nice Bridge. The Nice Bridge is 16 units of 3 bedroom apartments and BQ with 2 units of penthouses of 4 bedrooms. So premium location, all of them has certificate of occupancy. So like I said, I lay emphasis on location and title in all of our projects.
Thank you for such great illustrations and explanation. Of course, very detailed personality, juicy as always. Um, I do not sell what I do not, I do not market what I do not buy. Most of these estates we spoke now, personally, I have subscribed them. For those who are listening, you can only tell somebody to buy what you have confidence. So I have confidence personally with Barrister, with speaking. And most of the times, people think that people do something because of money. I've come to know him that is passionate about people, uh, our people, the Nigerian people, the Igbo people, of extractions and all other tribes, global investors. So he's not somebody who's playing just particular just to get rich and then like get quick rich scheme. This is a man that is grounded in law. And the first day I met him, I was blown away by his in-depth understanding and how he got to real estate. Barrister, before I give to my colleague, Mr. Michael, I would like you to share how you got into real estate. I know that because a lot of people that are watching, young people, especially of our age brackets or older ones and all that, may not understand you as a person. So how do you got into real estate?
Okay, thank you. So it's safe to say I didn't get into real estate. Real estate got into me. As a young lad, growing up, I was born into a family of financial experts. My father was a chartered accountant, and my mom is a professor of finance. And one thing was very notable about the way they led their life. They were heavy investors in real estate. So growing up, I was born to parents who held a lot of real estate investments, and I saw firsthand the capital growth, that they enjoyed. I saw the lands they bought for a certain amount skyrocket in price and in value in little or no time, and so it was what tickled my interest in real estate. So if my father would buy real estate before we buy a luxury car. My mom didn't care for jewelry; she only cared for real estate. I remember at some point while I was in university, myself and my brother would always take up or pick up battles with her and be like, "Madam, please, can you enjoy your money? You stop saying you're investing for us. Are you trying to curse us? Are you trying to say we would not be of any good, make money and buy our own properties? Enjoy your money, flex the life, buy the tons and tons of jewelries your friends would spend their money on, and all of that." So, well, so I think it was just about my background, and then coming to how I now got involved. I think my second year in university, I started real estate in my second year while I do university. I noticed that each time my parents bought properties, they would always pay the facilitators a certain fee, and I was a young chap who wanted to make my own money. I didn't want, you see, when you are born to financial experts who started their life as teachers. They're always very frugal and very stingy,
Yeah.
as you could say, you know. So getting them to part with cash was always a problem. You have to explain and explain and explain before you get money. And so, you know, a big boy in uni, I didn't want to always have to come and do this thing all over again. I always have to explain myself, you know, before I'm able to squeeze out a dime from you guys. So I was always thinking, how do I get to do this? And you know, make money for myself, but yeah, I also wanted to do it the right way. So I noticed they always paid this facilitator a fee. So I wonder, I asked my mom, I said, come on, you've paid for the land. So what's this other money for? I always give you guys to go and share. Yeah, she explained to me. Yeah, it's facilitator fee. When people um, uh, help you find a property and you buy into it, you have to pay them a certain fee. And then if they also help you sell, you also have to pay them a certain fee. And they're like, oh, really? Okay, that's good. So if I find for you, will you buy? And yeah, will I get paid? She said, yeah, sure. Why not? I said, okay, fine. Let's get this started. And so luckily, I already knew some of the agents who would always come by the house to transact with them. So I reached out to them. And yeah, I got them some. I got my mom something to buy. So it's safe to say, not even about safe to say, categorically speaking, my mom happens to be my first client in real estate. So we got her a property to buy, and she paid the agency fees, as they call it, facilitator fees, and I got 200K, you know, as a 200 level law student, and I'm like, oh, really? Good. Now we're talking, you know. So this 200K, I don't have to explain to anybody how I'm going to spend it. It's my money. I'll spend it the way I like, and that spurred me on to keep you know, pushing it, but not in a way that it would affect my studies. And it went on to the point that by the time I was ready to go to law school, um, uh, I already gained a bit of prominence among certain circles, and I was their guy for anything real estate. In fact, my mom would tell you at any time that she can't she doesn't know how much I paid in law school, because before I went for law school, while waiting to go to law school, some guy approached me. I'm looking to buy so and so property. I helped him. We secured the property. He paid me my fees. The fees were enough for me to pay off my law school tuition, buy myself some new suits and white shirts and Oxford shoes, Oxford brogues for law school, paid for my private accommodation at the law school, put it up. So it was so the money came at the right time, and yeah. So after that, after law school, all I cared about was still real estate, and that's pretty much all I've done till this day.
Hmm.
So, so you
For
see why I told you
anyone,
that I didn't get into real estate. Real estate
it
got into me.
got into you.
It got into me.
I'm telling you, I mean, there are a lot of students there, and
Yeah.
those who are still confused. Did you hear
Yeah.
the story? I mean, this is
Mhm.
not make-up story. This is life experience. How real estate got into him. Some of us are born with a silver spoon in our mouths. We rely with our parents or guidance for almost everything. And like he says, professors, and then of course his mom and all of that, they came from a financial background. So he could have just chilled down, keep on explaining anytime he needs money or needs anything to do. But he decided to ask very serious questions. That's where how to start life. How do you do this? How? Where? Why? These are important questions. And of course, he landed the first commission was 200K. Imagine as of that time, imagine Mr. Michael. To now, even as of that time, 200K, even as Nigeria currency has been devalued, is still a huge money while in school. And today is a billionaire. So the first client was his mom. From there, it has over, if not 15 or more estates, premium estates. And all of those things, many people have been rich, benefited from commissions. He paid billions. He's going to share it by himself every year for commissions alone. Commissions for agents of different type, benefiting and workers as well. So when you hear this kind of story and people are still not understanding on how wealth is built, some people are still waiting that somehow magic will just happen without positioning yourself for the magic. So Mr. Michael will have a follow-up on the Oasis estate in Oyelade. So over to you, Mr. Michael.
All right, sir. So thank you very much for that beautiful experience.
Honestly,
And it's a fantastic work. So, and I would like to appeal to our audience to please like,
please,
and
do.
comment.
Yes.
So, and before I move to the OC's aspect,
Okay.
so I have a question as regards the location
Okay.
that you made mention of.
All right.
So, and you stress the importance of location as one of the priorities to look at too. So, my question is, what specific indicators do you look for when predicting a community or area or any geographical location that will appreciate in value?
Okay, so let me start with, first of all, I think a lot of Nigerians don't pay so much attention to research. So as a company, when we are prospecting, when we are looking for a new project to start, we embark on research. And we look out for certain indicators that development is indeed coming here. And sometimes these researches, they don't just stop online. Sometimes you reach out to those in institutions of government who would know better to tell you, okay, these are the plans government has, these are the plans we have in the pipeline. So and so road is going to be captured in next year's budget. So and so road has been awarded, and these are, the plans the government have for certain locations. And you know that in real estate, infrastructure is everything. Infrastructure is everything. In my village where I come from, a plot of land is sold for about 25 million in my village. And then it is so because in my village we have infrastructure. In front of my father's house, the road is tarred. So wherever there's infrastructure, real estate value and prices are definitely bound to go up. So these are the things we look out for. What's the infrastructure here? What's the infrastructure promised? What's the infrastructure in the pipeline? What's the accessibility to town? What are the industries and amenities that will be accessible to people that will live here? These and many other factors contribute to our decision making in going to a particular location.
All right. Thank you very much. So, and as regards the O6 estate at Ibejuleki, Lagos, let's start with the O6 estate. It's a branded as the first art-inspired luxury estate in sub-Saharan Africa. So,
yes.
And what was your vision behind merging, art, luxury, and nature? What was your vision?
Okay, so because I started, so when I transited from just being a broker to being an active player in the real estate industry, mine was, distress trading center. That's where I started from. So we ran with a niche, and that niche paid off. So I had that mindset going forward, for almost anything I was going to do, I need to carve a niche for myself. I need to do something different from what everyone else is doing, or. So when we acquired that piece of property, I was battling within myself. What can we do here that nobody else has done before? And then on a trip to Europe, I was in Milan. So I was paying attention to the architecture, the castle style and medieval architecture that you find in that city, and I was captivated by it. I'm like, how come we don't have something like this? I just thrilled, and I started to tinker with the idea. What can we do? And then he said to come to me that we could have an estate where we have a blend of nature and arts, and not just contemporary arts, but also arts, historic arts that tell the Nigerian story, for different tribes. And I was just thinking, so how do you achieve this? Are they supposed to be like Picasso's or graffitis on buildings or what? Because it's outdoor. How are you going to achieve that? So one day I was taking a walk in the same city, and I saw a square with a lot of display of outdoor paintings framed in certain ways that rain and sun would not affect them. And I said to take pictures and make videos. And I said, yes, this answers my question on how we're going to, because outdoor sculptures and what I knew right well, those ones can thrive under the rain and the sun, but the paintings were of particular concern to me, because at the time I was already now tinkering with the idea of an outdoor museum or outdoor art gallery, something. So I started for the outdoor art gallery, but how do we preserve the paintings from weather conditions? And once I saw that, I knew that answered my question. And the idea of an art-infused estate was born. And yeah, we decided to implement that in OSs, and that became our niche.
Powerful.
So, OSIS is located in the town,
Yes.
near the Lekki Airport, Alaro City, and Pan Atlantic University. Why is this corridor such a hotspot for investors?
So, like I said, it's always good to know what plans government has for a particular location, and then you also look at institutions that are already established in the axis and institutions that are planning to come. So Lagos is moving. So when you look at let's look at Lagos, what it used to be. So that's what people will talk about, the Lagos mainland, and then from the Lagos mainland we extended into the island, and then before now it was just Ikoyi and Victoria Island, and Lagos has continued to spread. Before you know what was happening, we were talking about the Lekki Peninsula, and then from there another hybrid area was born, and from there other developments continued, and that's why sometimes you hear people make the jokes of when people say they're living in Lekki, please ask them where in Lekki are they living. Yeah, but come on, it's the person didn't say he's living in Lekki phase one. So
Yes.
it's it's just been expanding since then, and
Yes.
if you are futuristic, if you're observant, you know that what has happened in this axis is still what's going to get replicated in the new Lagos that is to come. Just now you have the Dangote refinery come to that axis. You have the Pinnacle Oil tank farm come to that axis. Like I mentioned earlier, you have Koschari to that axis already. You have the Pan Atlantic University there. You have the Oleka Industrial City, you have Alaro City, and you have good number of estates, like good number. I think in that axis, you have over 200 estates, you know, of whom some of them have actually done a great deal of delivery, impressive delivery in putting up what that have a vision to do in that axis. So you just can see clearly, like without being told, without the services of a diviner, a soothsayer, you can see firsthand
Yes.
that Lagos is
Yes.
moving and people are buying into this axis. And then, yeah, so we have to move with Lagos. We have to move with the future.
Fantastic. Moving with the future. It takes a foresight person to be able to invest in real estate. And what you are lecturing us today and the audience around the world and our listeners, audience, platforms, YouTube, please do not forget to share, like, comment, and invite your friends, those who are still not understand what to do. I always use that word. There are a lot of people who are confused. The confusion is driven by the people you hang around. I don't think if you be with Barrister Oleka Richard and he will tell me that you will be a poor person. That's not possible because he won't even allow that to happen. He will give you everything you need to be able to succeed. That's the way to start. So over to you, Michael, regarding the Oasis, what stand out.
Yes, there are so many features that stand out in OC's estate, right? Like the helipad, the waterside jetty, the Olympic pool, spa, gym, and art gallery. So, how do these lifestyle facilities elevate the estate beyond just being, a land for sale?
Well, I think in your question, you already answered the question. So the idea of building the idea of building a community with such amenities, with such features, is to elevate the standard of living. So when you look around, even before now, in most estates, or even in the barracks, in the military barracks, they try to put in facilities that elevate, the experience of residents. It could be as small as a children's playground. It could be as small as a football pitch. Or it could be a lawn tennis court, basketball
Yes,
court, as the case may be. You know, so all of these features were envisioned and captured in the OSCs to elevate the living experience of the subscribers. So some of them we had to be far-reaching because, like I said, you must. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to run catch up with innovation. So he has facilities that elevate living standards has gone beyond just having a football pitch or a lawn tennis court. So one must be innovative, thoughtful, and be in depth with seeking out facilities that would really raise the bar of premium living for the members of such community.
I'm telling you, what he mentioned here, the features of Oasis, blew my mind. The first time I met him, you talk about luxury, premium living lifestyle, helipad, water side jetty. These are luxury. Olympic pool, then the spa, gym, art gallery. These are nature versus lifestyle. So he's looking at the future where you can jump into the water jetty, take from that Ipejuleki Oasis, you are right in your estate. You jump into the water side jetty, and then you take off a ride to any part of the lagoon and the water, uh, connections in Lagos State. So the water surrounding, so you can get to Lekki, you can get to Banana Island, you can connect to Ikorodu.
You can get to
different places the
Apapa. You
mainland.
can get to
This
anywhere. In a little time, as
Imagine
against having to use the road infrastructure. So I used to people on this. I think the water body of Lagos is underutilized, because when you go to cities
Exactly.
like Venice, for instance, it's more or less water transport than road transport. So we'll be able to decongest traffic
Correct.
if people are able to use the water body, then the water means of transport in Lagos, and get from one location to the other, either as a private arrangement, or you also have ferries and what have you. So the oasis is bordered by
Exactly.
a water body, and then we believe that residents should be
Exactly.
able to make use of that water body for both transportation and for recreation, from kayaking to boat cruises to what have you. But
Exactly.
and like I said, all of these were captured to elevate the experience. So if I'm living in the oasis at Ibeju, I don't need to always put my vehicle on the road and then do a long trip, stuck in traffic for hours to get to Lekki Phase 1 or to get to Ikoyi, when I could do that faster by ferry.
Exactly. These are the things you look at. Like when he made his introduction about what do you look at for? It's not just about buying land for banking, land banking, or whatever. You look at the facilities, what appreciation. He has used those words, but I'm just re-emphasizing for those who are listening. I remember when I was in Canada, I was marketing this thing. What blew people's mind is the facilities, especially the where the land is located, situated at, and what he has been able to incorporate in that estate. You know, if you look around, hardly do you see some of these estates that is churning up in that in that has this kind of connectivity and features. So it's an exceptional facility and the features, and he incorporated everything to nature, by the art gallery and all that. So I want people who want to invest, please, he's going to give his details and also how you can reach out to subscribe to Oasis. It's going to be, this is a promising estate. This is one of the best of his kind. And he's a man of his word. He's not just doing this. You can see from the historical fact that this is the person you should put your money in his hand and it's safe. And without wasting time on that, Mr. Michael, follow-up questions regarding that.
Okay, and people, a lot of investors are always worried about ownership right.
Right, right.
So, and as regards that, and as regards OC's real estate, what do you have to say about that?
So, like I mentioned earlier, I said I pay attention to location, and when location is ticked, I start to look at what's the paperwork, because I understand fully, and like I said, the core of my practice is property conveyancing. So I will start to look at the appropriate title and documentation. What do we have and what do we need to do? So sometimes you might not have all the documentation right and in place, but then the first thing you ask yourself is, what is not there? Can it be remedied? Is it something that can be gotten? Is it something that can be fixed? And then you go ahead and meet the regulators and then get the requirements and start to work towards it. So OSIS has a government allocation, but then we're not going to stop at that, because there is still room for improvement, and that is getting the certificate of occupancy. We already have our bill from the Bureau of the Lagos State government, and which we have already started to offset. And once we are done fully offsetting that, we'll process our CFO, and that's about it. That makes it watertight. And also, I also like to mention here, beyond also having a government allocation over this plot, we also had to, acquire directly from the original owners of this plot, which the family that originally owned this plot. Because some people, they just believe it's once you acquire from the government, that's it. It's okay, fair enough, but to make sure that you um, uh, tie all loose ends, and also for posterity's sake, the host community, the host family, is always also good to, capture them in whatever you are doing, pay them what is due to them, while you pay government what is due to them. That way, you know that you have settled both. Well, it's safe to say you have settled both heaven and earth, and yeah, you're good to
So
go.
yes, exactly. That one, for the sake of the audience, is
Mm.
it you, the owner of the Oasis, that will meet the family
We've
original
already
owner?
done that. We have already
Oh,
done
okay.
that. I'm
Wow.
just telling you, yeah, what the things we have already done,
Wow. Wow.
and
Wow.
yeah. Mm.
It's because these are the things that are scaring people away from Lagos State. Look at what you have done. I mean, he has done what they call Molile receipt and family receipt and rest of them, which is most
Mm.
estates do not do. And that's why I see some estates when they have even some completions, the original owner, the Molile,
Yes.
will come after the property. So on this
Mm.
one, you are buying with confidence, knowing fully that the Oasis Pinnacle Prime Estates Limited has done the whole work for you. So all you need is to
Mm.
do your own side, make a payment, get all your necessary allocations. So, Michael, you still have more questions?
Yes, just one more question.
Yes.
As regards the
Please go
OCS.
ahead. Please
Okay,
go
so
ahead.
how, with the flexible 12-month installment plan,
Mm.
how are you making OCs more accessible to both young and diaspora investors?
Yeah. I think you always you find creative ways of answering my questions even before you ask. So Uh, so, with the 12 month payment plan, which is 1 year payment plan, we've made Oasis accessible because people can pay a 30% deposit and spread the rest of the payments at no interest, for 12 months. So that's part of also how we've made it accessible and affordable.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let us go to Blossom. Please, ladies and gentlemen, the audience, wherever you are watching, pay attention to this estate because you're speaking direct with the founder and the owner, the man behind the Oasis, Blossom. You might have heard it, you might have seen it online, and some of you in the diaspora, you heard when my co-host, Mr. Michael, asked about it. There's flexibility in payment, and then this, you pay, you get receipts, you get everything you need. If you have the money, you pay outright, you get the allocations instantly. And the most beauty part of it is most of the people I have been by the grace of God brought, they have their instant allocation, which is very beauty part of it. There are some estates you buy, they do not even have allocation for over years. Most times I've seen them on the online lamenting that they've paid for some certain estate, they've not gotten allocation. But this one instantly, it gives you the number, your plot number, everything. And that becomes your own. So if you have the money in the bank, why not try Oasis of Blossom or the one at Manual and also the extension in Abuja? So those are the people you want to do business with. And it's accessible, very accessible person. So now let's move to Blossom. Tell us more about Blossom in Enugu State.
Okay, so Blossom Garden, I mentioned earlier, is just 5 minutes away from the city center. It's just off GRA. So it's a massive estate project embarked on by the Enugu State government through one of its agencies, the Enugu State Housing Development Corporation. And then we got involved here because we are doing what you call infrastructure land swap with the state government. So we have our reference and the list of infra infrastructure and projects we're supposed to provide for this particular estate, and then in turn, the state government is paying us in land instead of in cash. So we now have our own land within the Blossom Garden Estates, and we have also providing the infrastructure as required by us under our memorandum of understanding. And then we have our allocation from the state government. And beyond the facilities and infrastructure the state government to provide, generally, we also have certain specific features within our own part of this estate to elevate the standard of living, to promote premium living and the living experience of our subscribers and community members.
Okay, so can you make mention of those features that differentiate it from every other real estate? And also the
Yeah,
landmark.
mm. The landmark here is GRA, I guess the New Market Flyover, ShopRite. ShopRite is barely 5 minutes drive away from this place. You also have the RCC estate just close by, and they also have the Valley Estate, also directly opposite Blossom Garden Estate. And the features we also intend to have, apart from asphalt roads and solar powered street lights, we also intend to have again an outdoor art gallery promoting the culture of the good people of Enugu State. So it's going to be historic. And in this regard, we are also going to be in partnership with the Enugu State Ministry of Culture and Tourism in establishing this outdoor gallery. And then this outdoor gallery will also have sit-outs for relaxation. So we come, we look around, we bask in nature, and then we're also going to have outdoor activities, where people are able to paint different plants, and where people, so you could just sip and paint, but here you are painting nature. And then you also have portrait and all of those things. People can just come, sit around, relax themselves, and then try to mold something, make a flower pot, so these are the things. So it's just going to, like I said, elevate the experience. They're also going to have a helipad. So I'm always particular about having helipads in most of our estates because
Yeah,
times are changing and people are getting advanced.
right,
So,
right.
and we are not also expecting that in the near future, a lot of people are going to be commuting with choppers to save time and to avoid traffic. You just fly out and land in your estate, and that's about it. So we also have a football turf. A lot of young people, a lot of men like football. So
Yes.
we would never want to trade their comfort or
Yeah.
their preferred sports for anything. So we always try to ensure we also have a football turf. We're going to have a lot of tennis courts and an Olympic sized swimming pool, just to make sure that while you are in here, jogging tracks, you're able to, live and then play, exercise, network, and even work. Because
Wow.
remote work is becoming a thing. So you should be able to live in a community where, despite working from home, you can choose not to leave your estate for a week or two, or even a month, and still
Yes.
be able to, not just be confined to the four walls of your home. When you
Yeah.
come out, there are a good number of things to indulge in, and then feel good, feel better.
Wow. This is important when buying estates. Subscribing to any real estate. You need to get to know details. Detailed plan, the ecosystem, the eco-friendly system, design, what are the things that makes it unique. So for those who are have interest in investing in the eastern part of Nigeria, Enugu is a cool city. It's one of the best when it compared to every other states in the southeast. And Enugu is where almost everybody, not just the southeasterners, anybody all over the world, it's a conglomerate of different people, both local and international, that have made Enugu what it is. It's a home to all. So if you have not invested, and if you talk about GRA, MNA, New Heaven, they all started like this. But today, if they tell you how much a plot of land, in fact, if you even see a free plot of land in those New Heaven, GRA and the rest of them, it's in billions, if not right now. But look at, now we are giving you this, he's selling you this, and then you think maybe it's like a storybook, But that's how the millionaires and the billionaires are made. For those who have foresight, please subscribe to Blossom, reach out, and you get the necessary information and guidance you are hearing from the owner. So, but there's something I wanted to get clear on the Enugu Housing Corporation. You said that are they going to give them the CFO, or the CFO of the estate would be the one tying them, or the individual subscribers? Because a lot of
individual subscribers will get their allocation from the Enugu State Housing Development Corporation, right? And like I mentioned earlier, it gets better with the Enugu State Housing Development Corporation, because with the corporation's allocation, you do not necessarily need to go out do a CFO, because it stands shoulder to shoulder legally with a CFO in Enugu. So if you are very conversant with Enugu, if you're conversant with Transekulu, 90% of the properties in Transekulu are captured under the Enugu State Housing Development Corporation. And what they have is the housing allocation, where they pay their ground rent, their development fees is to the Housing Corporation and not to the Ministry of Lands.
Okay, so there we have an allocation from you, and also they will also get another paper from the Housing Corporation.
Housing Development Corporation, yes.
Okay, all right, fantastic. So they will do that on their own?
No, we're going to avail them every documentation required.
Okay, fantastic. So having said that, what's the potential return of investment in percentage? Enugu, Lagos, and of course Abuja, based on what's the rate of return on investment?
Well, when you talk about the rates, I think for these three locations you mentioned, it's really relative on what you are buying and where you are buying in these places. But
Yes.
I can assure you that if you make a right investment in any of these three locations, you should be looking at a 30 to 50% increase in value within the first 18 to 24 months, once you buy it right.
Right. Fantastic. So we're going straight to Camp David. Over to you, Mr. Michael. Camp David, then after that, we go to Abuja. So you emphasize more on that of Abuja, because it seems you have quite a lot of projects going on in Abuja. So we need your potential buyers and subscribers and investors need to understand that. But before that, let's Michael just flash around Camp David.
Okay, so Camp David Estate is positioned in MNA Enugu State. Their landmark like Moto, CBN Solar City, and Akanu Ibiam International Airport.
Yes.
So, what makes Camp David worth this level of investment? And why did you choose this particular corridor for development?
Okay. So, Camp David is a project we are doing in collaboration with the Enugu State Ministry of Housing. And so, because of our track record of performance in Blossom Garden Estate, so we didn't choose Camp David chose us. So because of our track record with the Housing Development Corporation in regards to Blossom Garden Estates, the then Commissioner for Housing in Enugu piqued interest in my company, and then one day I got a call, and the commissioner wants to see you. And when I came, he said, so the ministry has this land we are looking at, and we're also looking for a reputable developer that would enhance its value to partner with. And your name came up, and I believe it's something you can do if you'd be interested. And I'm like, okay, Honorable Commissioner, can we go and see? Let's go look at this place first. I can't answer you straight away. And we went to the location, and just like you rightly mentioned, in fact, so some people call the New Haven extension, but it is Emene. But because of how close it is to New Haven, they call it New Haven Extension. In fact, I remember seeing some of the ads posted by certain realtors who sell our properties. And then they were referencing it as New Haven Extension. So we are calling the estate MNA, and then a realtor or some realtors are saying, no, you are not serious. This is not MNA, this is New Haven Extension. And so I came to a great location, Third Road, a couple of great estates also put up by some forward-thinking developers, and so I was like, okay, fine, good, so we can do this. And we jumped on it, and we said to do what we know how to do best.
Wow, fantastic.
So, and what about the certificate of occupancy in addition to government allocation at the Camp David Estate? What do you have to say about that?
Yes. Yeah, so the certificate of occupancy is now domiciled with the Ministry of Housing, right? So when you buy, what you also get is an allocation from the Enugu State Ministry of Housing, and then you're also going to also get an allocation from us who are the developers in partnership with them. But ultimately, you have the allocation from the Ministry of Housing. And the best part of this one is that all the allocations for all of the plots coming to us have already been issued in the name of Pinnacle Prime Estates. So it's more like once you buy, Pinnacle Prime conveys to you the allocation it already has from the Ministry of Housing.
Wow, that's a very clean transaction for anybody who wants to go into this. Yes, very straight. Okay, so Mike, let me just quickly go to Abuja. He has a lot of projects in Abuja. A lot of projects in Abuja. So please tell us more in details why we're closing about what those projects that you're handling in Abuja. Can you explain to those potential investors who want to buy and invest in Abuja? Tell us more, because it's number one is the city, the seat of power. So anybody around the world or in Nigeria or all over the world would like to have a piece of real estate in Abuja. So give us an overview of what's going on here and how people can actually buy some of your estate in Abuja.
So for what we are doing in Abuja, so that comes under the purview of Polo Residences Limited. So Polo Residences, like I mentioned earlier, was set up to, create architectural masterpieces in premium locations. And then we decided to start with the city of Abuja, and we opted for Minister's Quarters to be our flow. We have a project called the Wages, just by the Minister's Quarters overlooking Maitema. We are doing 5 units of 6-bed and fully detached duplexes. And these properties, all of them are going to come fully automated, alternative power, solar and electric vehicle charging points. So I'm going to make something. I'm going to emphasize a little more on this electric vehicle charging points, because now you see a lot of electric vehicles now in the market. You see a lot of them on the road too. People are buying from the high-end ones to the very affordable ones. I remember going to a car lot and seeing one being sold for 39 million. I've seen some advertised online for 35, 40. So Nigerians are beginning to embrace that innovation. So before you know what's happening, electric vehicles are going to be all over the place. Both like I think affordable and the luxurious ones, like the Rolls Royce Spectre is is electric. You also have, I think this other company, BYD or something, or BYD or BRD, I can't remember. They also have
Tesla
the
stuff.
Teslas and all of that. So at the end of the day, you also have to be futuristic in thinking, like I always say, elevating the living experience of your subscribers. So we have to make sure that electrical vehicle charging points are in all of our development, so that if a subscriber, if a resident has an electric vehicle, you don't have to go to charging stations to go and sit and while away time charging your vehicles, when you could actually just plug in your vehicle while at home doing something else, or even while you go to bed, and then you come out the next day and then your vehicle is fully charged and ready to go. Yes, so we have that. We have swimming pools. All of these houses come with elevators, and yeah, that's for the wages. And we're starting sales at 1 billion naira per unit.
Yeah.
And in Guzape, we are doing the manor. The manor is also 5 units of 5 bed, the style duplexes with BQ. Has the same facilities, electric vehicle chargers, elevators, premium finishing, solar power, also starting at 1 billion naira each. And then we have the Euphoria in Katampe Extension, which is another great hybrid neighborhood. Um, uh, we are we also have all of these facilities, electric vehicle charging, elevators, premium finishes. Also starting at 1 billion naira each. We have 4 units there. And then in Asokoro, off Tiwa Danjuma, we have the Olympus, the home of the gods. So that one is 7 units of 5 bed detached with 2 rooms BQ, and the whole full experience features, as we mentioned earlier. And then in Wuse 2, we have coming up is also the Nice Bridge. The Nice Bridge is a block of 3 bed apartments and great location. So, and for those who want to buy vacation homes, for those uh, members of our audience who live abroad, who want to buy vacation homes they can put to use for shortlets and short stay apartments, and also be able to use it while they are in the country, and also for a lot of young property investors, these ones are much more affordable. Unlike all of our other properties that start at 1 billion, apart from their Sokoro that starts at 1.5 billion per unit. So these apartments are starting at 400 million naira per unit, 3 bedroom, EQ, elevators, and we also have the penthouse, which is 4 bedroom and a BQ. Although I must make clear to say that the penthouse is not for sale, except you give me an offer I can't refuse. Yes.
It's
So
reserved, exclusive to
yeah, it's exclusively reserved. Yeah, just like Mr. Nwali rightly said earlier, yes. In fact, before he started to sell any of my properties, he had bought into those
Yes,
properties.
I'm telling
Yes,
you.
he had subscribed to a good number of our estates, and he's one of the very few um, uh, brokers that I've seen move that way, and it was quite impressive. And that's part of reason why when most real estate companies are more fixated on giving out cars as incentive, I prefer to give out lands, because I always tell the realtors when I say it's an anomaly that you are selling something you don't have. You
Exactly.
see, a lot of real estate brokers and agents keep selling and selling and selling and selling, but yet you have not been able to subscribe to this same thing that you're selling. So for the night bridge, yes, I think I'm going to retain the penthouse, so that I'll also join the residents to experience the premium living that they have to find at the night bridge. So yeah, so I think, and then we also have 2 more projects that we're going to launch this year in Abuja by the grace of God. We also have another apartment building in Jabi, and yes, that the the arrangements and every other procedure is underway, and hopefully before Christmas we're going to announce 2 other projects, and all of these projects are simultaneously under construction. Work is ongoing on all of the sites every day, even on Sundays. You need to see the work we have done in 5 months at the Regis. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. In 5 months, these 5 units were already at roofing stage in 5 months. Yes. So because I have a delivery timeline of 12 months on each of these projects. So in 5 months, we are talking about the roofing beams as we speak in 5 months. So that's the kind of speed I like to operate in, that I operate with. And with commitment and the grace of God, we can always achieve it. So I'm committed in timely delivery, timely
Wow.
delivery.
Wow.
And
So,
the I think the Nice Bridge is the only development we have that is not captured in 12 months. So we're looking at 18 months for the delivery of the Nice Bridge. We are going to work every other day, and good a thing. I think the rains have receded, and we're going to move at a faster pace now that we don't have to battle the rains anymore. I believe that in a few days or just a matter of weeks now, the rains would be no more. It will be until sometime next year. And we're going to really, really utilize the opportunity to quickly advance a great deal on most of these developments. But despite the rains, you needed to see what we've done in 5 months. So imagine what we will be able to achieve without the weather interruptions.
yeah, wonderful. I'm amazed by this. For investors all around the world, in fact, before I even ask him one or two questions, it's because of one of those things he has said. I've seen him as a very foresight. He sees the future and he wants to replicate everything he sees outside. Some of us are fixated by the level of development in the Western world. But we don't know that it's people that develop those things. So he goes out there, overseas, Europe, UK, and other places. He bring out the development, those things that were gravitated to us. He brings this to our doorstep here. He talks about the art gallery from Venice, Milan, and also brought it down to Oasis and to Blossom in Enugu and Lagos. Now we're talking about the electric vehicle for buyers and subscribers and investors. You have 1 billion. How can you have a 1 billion house investment and you're taking your luxury car to go and charge to the electric charging point sessions in different places? I mean, you have those things. Some of you live in overseas. You use them and you display it as a luxury. But here is a man with a vision, bringing it to your doorstep in Nigeria. Because most of us, when we go there, you see all those things. You think it is not achievable. Right here, it's already people are building. Barrister Richard Oleka is already building such right in the city of power, which is Abuja. So for investors, whether you're an entrepreneur, business owner, look at the future in the next 20, 10 years, 5 years. There are going to be a lot of electric vehicles. Yes. So when you are buying, think about look for an estate that incorporate that future into the developmental goals, the ecosystem of whatever that you're doing. We're really working on, with him, myself, and himself, to bring really this estate to diasporans. We've started very quite good work. Believing God, we're going to have a physical meeting and then put it to some of those countries where our people are, so that they can have opportunity to meet him, because he needs to be known. This is the kind of people that our diasporans need to be seen and known, so that they can put their money with confidence, knowing that it's deliverable with timeline. It says in guys between 12 months and the other one is 18 months. So within 18 months, you have the property, and then you move in or you use it for Airbnb. So I'm delighted and I'm very happy to associate with this great personality. And I want as many people who are going to listen to this podcast interview And then we're going to be having it on a regular basis. So he'll be sharing the progress reports to the investors, to potential investors, so that they can off-takers, they can take this thing. So because he's ready to move to more, you can see a couple of projects going on simultaneously, not just he's working 247 to deliver those things. But before we round up to closing, I want us to talk about, can you share the potential buyers or the investors? What are the kind of title documents you have for these projects, estates? What the title documents, and also the concerns that they have in Abuja due to some policies going on there? Can you address all those things so that they can invest with confidence and knowing fully that the investment is secure, the security attached to the investment? So what are the things you are doing in that area that will show confidence for those who are watching and listening to us on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn?
So for all of our developments, the reduce, we have, in fact, when we started the reduce, it was an RFO, and then we had to pay for the CFO, and the CFO is fully processed. And for Guzape, where we have the manual, our title there is also a CFO. For Wuse 2, where we have the nice bridge, our title is also a certificate of occupancy. For the Sokoro, it's also a CFO, and for Katampe Extension, we also have the CFO. So all of our projects actually have good title, and we also have our conveyance of building approval. So you see, when you talk about a lot happening in even Lagos, in Abuja and Lagos, so when you pay attention, it's that these things are happening in certain areas. Well, we don't want to go into that, but it's always good to, when you want to invest, you invest correct. So a lot of people bring lands to me and wants to tell me, oh, is AMAC this, or no, well, I'm not going to touch area council land. It's not anywhere, in my view or in my consideration. So once you buy correct, buy into the right neighborhood and title, and then also have your conveyance of bidding approval, and also have the development control officers and town planners always come for periodic inspection. In fact, before we do anything, they always come to sign off on it. So from excavating the foundation to casting your DPs, you always invite them to make sure that quality control is actually monitored and the compliance is 100% before we proceed to the next stage.
Okay, so in those real estate, what is the minimum down payment?
Well, if you want to buy into any of them, I think we can take a 40% down payment, and you can spread the balance within 6 months to 1 year, depending. So, for instance, the wages, you cannot take 1 year down payment in the wages anymore. The instrumental payment on the wages anymore, because our target for completing the wages is 31st of January 2026. So, which is already here. So, and with the pace you're going to meet that deadline, and yeah. So
very interesting. And for anyone who subscribe and later maybe financial challenges or change of mind, do you reimburse them or do you get a buyer? How does the process go?
So for us as a company, we have a very, very strict refund policy that favors the customer more than it favors us. So one of the things I learned as a young entrepreneur, I remember, so one time in distress, a client had made payment for a property, a down payment, and changed their mind and was asking for a refund. And then my staff comes to me to say, oh, this lady wants a refund. And then, yeah, I think we should process a refund, less certain fees, and all of that. And then they said, no, we're not going to do that. You're going to refund her in full to the last dime.
Wow.
And that's about it, So I understand that money is important. It's money, even the Bible said that money answered all things, but we're looking for money we should do so within very healthy boundaries, upholding decency, and honor while doing that. So for me, anybody who's, in fact, when someone sees your product and subscribes to it and say they don't want to do it again, come on, you just refund them their money. There's no need to go back and forth with it. So that's all I can say. You want your refund, you get your refund. It's not,
Wow.
the future holds much more. That's what I believe in business, that the future holds much more. So the fact that you're asking for a refund today does not mean you cannot do good business tomorrow.
Wow. So I'm impressed by this response. I know a lot of our people are so fearful and skeptical about investment, especially in real estate. For him saying it, the owner of this multi-billion estates, I'm impressed by that. For those who are listening, please subscribe,
Sure.
share, let people know about the right place to invest is the Prime Pinnacle Estate Limited and of course the Polo Estate. Yes. Pardon me. So I'm happy about this and also I'm looking forward for people that will contact you and also start to make investments. And then of course, also in a closing remark, looking ahead, what do you or do you see both in those estates from Abuja to 5 to 10 years, and then how can the people reach out to you? How can they contact you? How do they get in touch and all of that? So that can those who want to subscribe, want to invest, want to buy, and all of those things. So how are they going to reach out to you, sir?
Okay, so in a matter of years, for me, what I see for all of these developments is actually, safe, secure, and serene communities where people would live, work, and thrive, and
Right.
communities that will also elevate not just your standard of living, but also your investment, over time, and so it's more like looking at the future of possibilities, peace, prosperity for the company, for the subscribers, and for the investors. And anybody who wants to reach me can always reach me on my mobile line. I I don't mind taking calls. Yes, but I think that's part of my job. Someone once asked me and said, "Have you realized that most of the things you do for work is to go to meetings and take calls?" And I'm like, that's my job.
Yeah.
That's the core part of my job. So please, anybody wants to reach me, you can feel free to either reach me through Mr. Nwali or you can call me on my mobile 08039594500. That's my direct line. Call
You
me
can
at
repeat it
any
again. You can repeat it
zero
again.
eight 08039594500. Feel free
Okay.
to call me at any point in time. And yeah, let's talk real estate and let's do good business.
Right. So they can locate you. The offices are
So I have my office in Enugu at number 6/8 in the street, Independence Layout. And
okay.
in Lagos, I have my office at Lekki Phase 1, second floor, Lofty Heights Office Complex, Marwa Bus Stop, Lekki Phase 1. And in Abuja, your office is in Wuse 2, number 29 Durban Street, Wuse 2, Abuja.
Thank you very much.
Abuja
And also
29,
for
29,
us,
29 Durban Street. Abuja 29 Durban
right.
Street, Wuse 2, Lagos, second floor, Lofty Heights Office Complex, Marwa Bus Stop, Lekki Phase 1, Enugu 6/8 in the street, Independence Layout. Feel free to
Fantastic.
walk in for any inquiries and engage with us.
Right. In a year, for those of them whom or those of who are watching who might want to become the sales agents, how much do you pay out in a year to your agents who work for you?
So
So
it varies, for different years. In 2023, we paid out just about 670 million to agents, and then in 2024, which happens to be one of our highest grossing years, we paid out a record 1.4 billion to agents. And 2025, so far so good. By the end of the year, we'll know what the figure will be. and I hope that it surpasses the one of 2024.
Fantastic. I know why I asked that question, because a lot of people say, I don't have money. You should hear from when he started his own story. So he did not say, I don't have money, or I'm not a real estate agent. So you are listening to this, you're saying there's no money. 1 point something billion is on the table. And this year problem is going to be 2.5 billion. We don't know yet. Those money are going to enter somebody. It's going to enter somebody's pocket. My brothers and sisters, even if you are in overseas, you can make money in Nigeria. Tell to somebody about these estates. They are genuine, no issues, no encumbrance. Buy with confidence, buy with trust, and then knowing that you are investing in with the right people who have offices and who have staff that work for them. Some of them are, what was sharing to me that most of his staffs are retired bankers. These are not, these are professionals, that work, and making sure himself from the background as a lawyer, a barrister, a conveyance, in his expertise. So you can see that you are buying with the right people, do not just jump into something because of money. So the real estate met him, and today I'm so happy to associate with Mr. Barrister Richard Oleka, the founder and the owner of Pinnacle Prime Real Estate Limited. Thank you so much, sir. We're happy. And on behalf of TD Studio Hub, we want to thank you for this podcast and for enriching and making people, our people, to become blessed by you and those you have employed who are working for you, earning their living. I'm so happy to know you. I'm blessed, and my family is blessed. Our business is blessed. We can't wait to have our diaspora real estate summit. I was talking to Mr. Andre, one of the NPP. He was on our podcast. I think I shared it to you. So he is also waiting. Almost the same thing you shared. The difference is just the environment and the laws. Almost the same thing. In Manchester, talking about real estate, and then you yourself in Nigeria, almost the same thing, but just the laws and the procedures. So I'm happy about this thing you are doing, and I'm so happy. All we can say is to wish you the best, and wish you good health, and also to wish you everything you need, the resources, and then the right people, to buy the right land and to be a blessing to Nigeria. You're not just about yourself now. You've been a blessing to the whole entire Nigeria. You've made billionaires, you've made millionaires, and they're still creating and building millionaires. So I'm so happy to know you. God bless you, sir, for the time. I know you are busy schedule, but you choose to honor this. We look forward to having you again. And then, of course, our audience, and also their people, who are buyers and their investors, we'd be happy to watch you speak in details about those real estates that they have put their money to. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day. God bless you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. Until next time. Thank you very much.
Sir. God bless you. Thank you, sir.
Bye.